Good morning, everyone. This is our Abundance Book Club Live. If you are joining us, we are reading Creating Money, Attracting Abundance. And today we're going to be talking about how to know if you are on your life's path, if you are following your calling. And then we're also going to talk about the last step in actually creating it. All from the book, lots of wisdom. If you aren't reading the book with us yet, do pick up the book. It's so amazing. Or listen to all the lives. We do touch on some of the amazing things from the book, but you're missing out if you're not getting the book. And this morning I am with Vicki Rude from Vicki Rude Coaching. Good morning, Vicki.
Good morning.
So glad that you are joining us. Vicki speaks from women's empowerment, from a space of women's empowerment, and really layers on a unique aspect. So love having you with me here on Monday mornings and Friday mornings. For everyone watching, if you want to join the book club, we have a beautiful Facebook group. I will drop the link into the comments that you can join that, and subscribe to the channel so you can get these conversations. I know that they are serving me. That's why I'm having them, because they are making an impact on my life, and I'm putting them out to also serve whomever else it may be making a difference for. So thank you for being here. And let's get into the book.
Let's get into it.
So this is from, if you are following along with us, it is page 141. So from page 141, this is the beginning of the chapter on doing what you love. And it says, not like, let me read the right page. It is from that chapter, but the right page, 141. You will recognize when you are doing your life's work by the feelings of vitality and aliveness it gives you. You will feel that your life has greater meaning and that you are making a worthwhile contribution. So this whole chapter is about that topic. So if you are like, how do I know that I'm on my path, that I'm fulfilling my life's calling? That whole chapter speaks into it. But that one specific line, you will recognize when you are doing your life's work by the feelings of vitality and aliveness it gives you. Such a beautiful indicator, isn't it?
It is. And I think that so many people that I've worked with, me, myself, so many people that I've done things with have always doubted or not known or been unsure. And I think it's one of these things that you're probably already doing it. You're probably already doing your life's work in some capacity. And I think that there's this feeling of, I know for me, when I started doing it, I was like, this isn't work. This isn't work. This is just what I do. And I think there's something to be said about what's already in you and what's happening in that feeling of, oh yeah, this is easy for me. This is joyful. This is my heart is beaming.
That's such a great point. And it brings up a couple of other things that I've read in the book. One is that whatever you're doing now likely has the seeds for your life's work. So if you are not living your life's work fully, there's probably things that you're doing that are the seed of what it is that you're here to create and what you will eventually cultivate. And the way to lean into it, yes, is whatever brings me joy. And what most of us have experienced is the things that bring us joy and the things that are easy are the things that we kind of push away, allowing us to get paid on because it's so fun and we love doing it and we do it for free and we do it all day, every day. And so we push away even thinking about allowing ourselves to get paid for that, because it's fun and it's joyful. But we can create abundance financially, wealth, from what we love and from that thing that we enjoy so much. And here's another thought on that. If we are loving it so much that we are that gardener that's out cultivating the garden and making so much results for someone else and something that they are needing in their lives, and we're showing up and being the answer to what it is that they have been praying for or calling in, then the word deserve is not really the word that I want, but I'm going to say it that way. Like, you deserve to get paid for it, even though you're having fun.
Yes. Yes. It's a mind shift, right? Because I think that for so long, It's funny because I'm having an experience with my teenager who's really struggling with the school, the system of school, and it really is difficult for him to navigate it, and it doesn't feel right. There's something that doesn't feel right, and it's not just about it's like that lack of inspiration. And when I see him talking about certain things like his comic books, these anime comic books, he lights up and he can talk about it forever. And, so it's about, okay, how do we take that thing that lights us up and apply that to what can we do with this? What kind of gift is this inspiring? Because it might not be about the comic book per se. And it might not be about like school not working per se, like your job that you're doing every day, right? Because I think about when I was in a corporate American job, doing a job that there were parts of it that I really liked, but there were also parts of it that I felt like stuck, right? So I think that for me, what I'm seeing is it's about this thing exactly that they're saying, this feeling of whoa, and it lights you up. And when you're connecting with someone, they're feeling it, right? So when they have that energetic exchange with you, it's okay to make an energetic exchange of money, because don't you, when you go to see something that brings you joy, you go to see a movie and it brings you joy, you expect to pay for that, right? And it doesn't take away from the joy of what that movie brings to you. Like there's something about this idea that we have sometimes, that I have sometimes in my head, like, oh, well, if I'm doing something out of love, it shouldn't be, it should just be out of love. But there's an energetic exchange that people want to pay for something that they get joy from.
Yeah, that's so true.
Is that landing?
Yeah, that's so true. And what comes up for me too is that, like, for me, I think the joy is the payment. Like, that's why I'm like, it's so much fun. Like, I feel like I got paid, right? Because I'm receiving the joy in the experience.
Yes.
But abundance says that there's more than enough, so much more than enough. And we do get to allow in the more, the financial, the wealth, all of it. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's
well, and the
challenging.
expansion of who you're sharing it with, because I don't know about you, but when you like someone, something, someone, someplace, don't you always want to bring the people you love there? And don't you want to invite them to be a part of it? Because that's a natural expansion, right? Oh, you got to go see this, you got to go do this, improv class, let's just say, when I did improv, or whatever it is that makes you want to invite the people that you love into it. And that just is a natural expansion of this thing that lights you up and may or may not light them up. But I don't know about you, when something is good for me, I'm always inviting people in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like back to what we were just reading, that the thing that we experience joy around, we forget that, oh, could that actually be my life calling? Could that actually be the thing that I can make money at, and be the thing that I focus my energy on, and be my income space as well? And the answer is yes, yes, yes to all of us, and to whatever our heart calls us to. And it's not as simple as, oh, now I figured it out, so I'll just go and do it, right? It's like listening to our heart, doing more of it. Some of the things it talks about the book, and we actually talked about with Terry, I think it was last week, like her whole business got built around her just showing up and giving her gift away and making a difference. So yes, you can absolutely show up and give it away. And the more that you do it, the more what it is that you're here for will get built around you, because people will be saying, I want some of that. Tell me how I can be part of that.
Right.
And as people show up, then you can charge for it early as well. But I think there is an easy, natural flow into building a business in that aspect, when we just show up and do it and make the difference that we're here to make.
Well, and cultivating what that looks like is a journey. Anyone that's been on the entrepreneur journey knows, but even if it's cultivating the way that that can happen. You try one way and maybe not, and you try another way, and you just keep going. And if you're open, and if you're using the other things that we've talked about in this book, like asking for more and noticing what feels right, if you're using those things and you're open and your eyes are open and your heart is open and you're open to opportunity, then the path will make itself clear, right?
It does. Yeah, it really does. Absolutely. All right. The other piece, we're actually going backwards a little bit. It is on page 128. And I don't know why I'm going backwards, except for that I'm following the path where my heart is leading. And it is one of the final acts of creating money is to let go and surrender to the higher good. One more time, one of the final acts of creating money is to let go and surrender to your higher good. And I would just speak from my own experience that in many ways, not just having to do with money, but when I have followed the path, done all the steps, had my heart like just calling it in, it was that final piece of surrender that allowed the thing to show up. For me to go, okay, I'm on the path, like I'm trusting, I know, and I am not I'm going to let go of needing to figure out how or when or what the final result is going to be, and just being and enjoy and trust and like letting go. And that's when the results have always shown up in my life.
And here's the good news with that. You can re-surrender every day.
Yeah.
Right. Like you don't have to just surrender once and be like, oh, because for me, let's face it, like security, right?
Mm-hmm.
Security, safety, providing for my family has always been something that held me back from that surrender of doing what I love, right? Oh, well, you want the tradition, you think it has to be a certain way, but every time I surrender and I trust that the universe, that Gus, that the, Mother Earth, Goddess, whatever it is, that thing knows better than me. And I surrender continuously and sometimes multiple times a day, because fear does creep in and it does feel weird, and it's okay, but you can keep surrendering. And the more you surrender, the more you practice it, and the easier it has gotten for me personally.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It is absolutely a practice. I love that you said that. You can just do it every day. Yeah. Sometimes we wake up in the morning holding on to like what we really wanted to, what we really want things to look like, or how we had hoped it had turned out already. And surrendering continuously is very powerful.
Well, I'm reading, it just so happens, this surrender word is just, it's all over me. It's like butter right now. The Surrender Experiment. Michael Singer wrote it. He's the same guy that wrote The Untethered Soul, but I'm in the middle of his journey of doing that. And all these things he did, how it just happens. And it is really counterintuitive to the way your mind works around it. And when you do surrender to that, and Tabitha, you talk about this a lot, dropping into your heart, dropping into your body, right? It's super supportive when you remind me of that. When you surrender into, I don't know how this is going to happen, but this really feels right. This is really feeling like, oh yeah, like it's like a click, like, oh yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And when you surrender to that and trust that, and for me, when I don't overthink it, because I can overthink it like an Olympic star, I'm an Olympic overthinker. When I stop doing that and I just trust that click, and they even talk about a click in the book when they're talking about magnetizing, it's very hard to explain in words, but I know every single one of you knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's kind of like when you click with a person, when you click with a job, when you click with something, when that feels right. And it's about trusting that and letting this Olympic overthinking that I do go away. And that's when all the success has continued to come into my personal life.
Yeah, me too. It's interesting how my experience of our society is that we honor so much the mind, and the mind is supportive. Our brain is very supportive. We're very grateful for our brain and the things that it helps us with, but it's a tool. And a lot of times we let it lead everything. And
Yes.
when we lead with our heart and we stay in our heart, and for me, that's just bringing my awareness into my heart. That brings me right there. When we lead from that place, the decisions that we make can be supported by what we know in our mind and what we know in our brain. But really, there's so much more that we are able to connect with and, tap into, if you will. But like there's just an energy field. It's the same energy field. It's different, but it's the same energy field that we are able to use wireless cell phones from, the same energy field where I'm able to connect with you and you're in a different state than me, and we're able to send this out to anyone who wants this information, right? So it's that same energy field that we already use. And I think some people still are not realizing or not ready to open to the fact that we are able to actually access it ourselves.
Yes.
And when we drop into our heart and we're able to access it ourselves, we're able to pull in information that our mind cannot process into words, into logic. It really is just a deep knowing. And it can feel like that click. I love that you said that it feels like a click when you click with a person, because that is something that we've all experienced, and it's something that people can go, oh yeah, I know what that feels like. And when we know what that feels like, we can translate it and layer it onto other experiences to understand what that deep knowing is and what it feels like.
Yeah, it's that spiritual experience that can be part of all of this abundance, that spiritual knowing that you can't necessarily put into words, that your mind can't wrap its mind around, but you, like you said, you still use your mind to say, oh, is, like, okay, you're driving down the street, you have to stop at the red lights, and there's a place for both, and when you use them together, it's almost limitless what's possible in my experience, and trusting, because it's that practice of the surrender, the trust, the mind. I mean, they talk about it for years, what, right? Mind, body, and soul. And it's almost like pushed away sometimes. My experience is it's almost pushed away, like, oh, it can't be that easy. It can't be that smooth. It should be a little different, right?
Yeah, and we're trained from such a young age to be in our minds. It's like, get the answer right, like figure out, there's a very logical training that we receive. And what's the mind is really great for is asking the question.
Yes.
So when we're looking for a solution, coming up with, okay, what is it that I'm looking for? Ask the question in your mind, put it out there, and then let it go. Practice that surrender. And that is such a beautiful, powerful practice of surrender and allowing the answer to come and allowing yourself to be in a space of receiving from the energy field that I believe God created and put here for us to be able to be the creators that we are, and to be powerfully so.
That word patience is coming up for me. And that is sometimes hard because we live in this, we can order from Amazon and get something directly. We can, go to the store and get exactly what we need, right? But we get to be patient and let it unfold. And that is like, so I remember when I was little, my dad always used to say, Vicki, it's not always about the vacation. It's kind of about the journey sometimes and getting there. And there's all the fun stuff of planning it and the excitement of that. And sometimes I think about that, and there's something to that, right? There's something to the whole process of figuring it out, having an idea, getting excited. For me, collaborating with other people about what's possible, thinking about it, dreaming about it, fantasizing about it, and then allowing it. And it's that patience piece that for me can sometimes be the hardest part, because I want it.
Well, I love so much that you said that, because when we allow ourselves to be in the joy of the process, the planning and the collaboration, it doesn't feel so much like something that we're having to wait on. It's almost like we get to experience the experience of it now.
Yeah.
So I just love that you brought that forward, because I've definitely been there myself. I'm sure everybody watching has, where we're wanting something, creating something, and we feel like we have to be so patient, and it's kind of painful. And it's like, oh, it doesn't have to be. I mean, I truly believe that when we speak truth, it resonates because we all know it to be true. Like whatever truth is, it resonates. And it's almost like we feel like we're being reminded of something. I've read that in a book and I've just truly believed that. I think it was Michael Singer. Sorry, I'm from Gainesville, Florida, where Mickey Singer lives, and we call him Mickey Singer here. So that's why he comes out that way. But I think it's from his book where he basically said, I won't say that it was him, but it's definitely someone like him. That truth resonates and we are almost being reminded. It's like you feel like you're being reminded of truth. And what I heard when you said that your father told you it is the joy of the planning and the excitement and all of the things to get to the trip, that's part of it. I was like, bing. Yes, of course, of course. And that is a piece that I miss in planning trips. And I watch my kids get so excited and I'm listening to you and I'm going, oh, I'm missing out on a big piece of the joy of the experience. And yes, the planning and creating our dream absolutely gets to be all of that. We don't actually need to be patient if we're in the joy of it because we can experience it now. So good. It's just
Yeah,
so
it's yummy.
Yes. All right, we are at time, so we're going to let YouTube go. Thank you all for being with us today. Have an amazing afternoon, and we will be here again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Hit the subscribe button. I will put the link into our Facebook group as well, and you can jump in and have fun with us there. All right.
All
Have a good
right.
day.